Thank you all for joining us tonight. I'm Noreen Murdoch. I'm Executive Director here at Portland Youth Philharmonic. It's my pleasure to welcome you to our Season 102 Parent Orientation. Just a quick overview of our webinar logistics tonight. We have an agenda of several items to go through. You'll be meeting most of the staff, and there is a Q&A, or at least there should be a Q&A feature that if you have any questions throughout the presentation, feel free to just type that question into the Q&A, and we will do our best to monitor those throughout the evening. We'll either just respond directly to that question through the Q&A module, or we'll bring it up as part of the presentation. And yes, this webinar is being recorded. We'll share it on our YouTube channel in the coming days afterwards. So if you miss anything, if you got here late, you'll have an opportunity to see it again. So just to get a sense of who we have with us in the room, folks are starting to come in. So for those of you who are here already, we'd love for you to share what ensemble is your child or your children in, and what grade are they in, and how long have you been in the program? And then there are also some additional questions about like what's your experience with music as a parent, and how did you hear about PYP? So if everybody could just take a few minutes to answer those poll questions, we'd love to just get a sense of who's joining us here tonight. And yeah, if you have any questions, particularly around, being a new parent or a returning parent, if you'd be happy to help out a new parent, we'd just love to get a sense. So I'm just going to give a couple more seconds, and Mitchell, if it seems like enough answers have been submitted, we can go ahead and wrap up that poll and show the responses. All right, great. So it seems like there is some relatively balanced representation here of the ensembles tonight. A lot of high school parents here tonight, as well as middle school and elementary school parents, and a lot of brand new parents. So welcome. And it seems like there's also a range of parents who've personally been involved with music as well. So thank you all for being here and for being involved with PYP. So to learn a little bit more about PYP and our programs, I'd like to introduce now our musical director, David Hatner.
Welcome, everyone. It's really great to start another season with PYP. As most of you know, this is going to be the 102nd season of the Portland Youth Philharmonic. It will be my 18th season. I joined the organization in 2008 after a career playing clarinet in various orchestras and freelancing around the New York City area. It has been the great honor to be associated with this great organization, but most importantly, to work with the caliber of students that it attracts and produces. When the organization was founded 100 years ago, there was no way of knowing that such an experiment could be successful. A local violin teacher named Mary Dodge decided that the orchestra she had founded at Irvington School wasn't as ambitious as her students' talent suggested. She thought there should be a symphony orchestra with all the instruments represented of young people conducted by a professional conductor. And she found that conductor right here in Portland, an immigrant named Jacques Gershkovich, who was born in Siberia and studied in St. Petersburg, Russia, before traveling all over the Far East and winding up in the United States. He made his career here, conducting for 29 years, handing the baton to Jacob Avshalomov, who studied at Reed College before moving on to also be on the East Coast. He returned as the second conductor, retiring in 1995. Hugh Edwards from Wales was his successor. Hugh will be back this year as a guest conductor with our Camerata PYP. When Hugh left, Mei-An Chen from Taiwan became the fourth conductor, and I joined in 2008, as I said, the fifth conductor and the first one to be born in the United States. The mission that you saw on the welcome screen, preparing young people for success through musical excellence, is a distillation of the historical mission of the organization. In that respect, it has changed very little in 100 years. The idea is that at the end of the PYP rehearsal process, a process that was invented and refined here, the representation on stage of its Philharmonic Orchestra will be the content and indeed the performance level of a professional orchestra. And very little has changed about that. What we've learned in the meantime is how much it does for the character and indeed the intelligence of young people who fully commit to that. And I think that's why all of you are here today, is hoping that your young students, especially for those of you who are new, will have that great experience that thousands before them have had. All of the conductors that you're going to meet are professional performers on their instruments, and we all have a similar approach to teaching, playing, and more importantly, musicianship. Musicianship being the important things that are mental processes that go along with performing music. And you'll be reading about that in our monthly newsletters, the things that I write, and hearing about them in the rehearsals as we run them, the way we think people should practice and prepare themselves for the performances that we were going to give. Speaking of performances, they are filled with not only the great classical composers of history, but also the most talented, inspiring living composers of our day. And we like to keep that mix in all of our performances. I hope that all of you, even those of you who are parents of musicians in our string ensemble, wind ensemble, and conservatory orchestra, will come and see the concerts at the Arlene Schnitzer Concert Hall of the Philharmonic Orchestra and those by Camerata PYP at the Reeser Center. They're wonderful concerts, and they're great to inspire the young musicians who are coming up through the ranks. Speaking of our conservatory orchestra, this year I will be serving as its conductor while we complete a conductor search to replace the amazing Larry Johnson, who retired after last season after more than 20 years with the organization. I'm sure Larry will be back from time to time to visit, and he'll be doing some conductor visits on our behalf, and he's enjoying retirement and his granddaughter. And now it's my great pleasure to pass the baton at this meeting to our great colleague, not only a great conductor and teacher, but a great composer whose brand new flute concerto, Camerata PYP, will be playing on its first concert in January, the conductor of our Portland Youth Wind Ensemble, Giancarlo Castro D'Adona.
Thank you, Mr. Hartnett. That was a wonderful introduction. Hi, everyone. I'm Giancarlo Castro D'Adona, composer, conductor. I'm the conductor of PIWI, the wind ensemble in PYP. I have been involved with the organization, this wonderful organization, for the last 5 years. And this year is going to be my season number 6. I think it's great. We will have a great repertoire this year. We have classical music selection, we have living composers, and we have women composers music. It's going to be fantastic. It will be a very challenging repertoire, but also really fun. Everybody will enjoy it. We will work on a scale, of course, and developing rhythms and dynamics and many other things. So that's all I have so far. And now it's time to introduce our fantastic Pisces conductor and a really close friend of mine, Ines. Thank you all.
Thank you, Giancarlo. Hi, I'm Ines Vogler-Belgic, and the kids call me Miss Ines. I am a violinist, and I was born in Venezuela, and I have played in orchestra since I was 7, and I still love it. In fact, I have been playing with the Oregon Symphony for 21 seasons, and this is my 10th season with PYP as the string ensemble conductor. So PISE, or Portland Youth String Ensemble, is an intermediate level group for students who have not had extensive experience performing in an ensemble setting. And as Mr. Harness said, we have high expectations for your musicians so we can maintain the high standards for which PYP is known. And I like to have a welcoming environment where we can learn, respect, support, and encourage each other. We will have more detailed information during our meeting at the summer social, but I'll just give you a quick rundown of my expectations. And I think these expectations are global to the organization. Attendance, not only for the rehearsals, but also for theory. We only have one rehearsal, at least for my group, per week, so it's important to be there to make efficient progress. Preparation, and I cannot stress this enough, to make efficient progress, the musicians should know their music well. and regular lessons with your teachers. I know most of your teachers, and I do check with them if you're having lessons and if you're practicing your music. And my expectations from the parents: stay informed. I will send emails every week, and they will have important information. Also, I would love to have at least 2 parents helpers before, during, and after rehearsal. So if you have time and are interested, please talk to me at the social. And like I say, I love orchestra and I love working with the kids. And Wednesdays are the highlight of my week, seriously. And I look forward to what this group is going to look like, because every year is a different group. And so it's important to be on time, which in music means to be 15 minutes early at least. And lastly, I'm excited to share some of the repertoire that we will play this season. We'll have some classics like Haydn, Mozart, but also new pieces that we commission for our virtual year by Laura Brackney, and then another piece by Sonji Newbold and music from Encanto, and a brand new piece by one of our PYP musicians, Elena Stopler. She's a trombone player in the Philharmonic. Thank you so much, and I look forward to meeting you all at the Summer Social. And now, please meet our new Operations Director and PYP alumna, Yulbi Shin. Bye.
Hi, everyone. As Inez was just saying, my name is Yobi Shin, and I am serving as the new Operations Director here at PYP. I was in PYP from season 90 to 96 on violin, and more recently, I'm coming from the Nashville Symphony. So, as Inez said, there will be weekly emails being sent out to all the parents and students, mainly just information on the upcoming rehearsals and concerts and general things. I will be sending out emails for PYP and Camerata, so you can see those every Thursday evening. So we are going to look at the PYP website. Perfect. And we are going to be going to the Musicians and Family portal. You can either get in by clicking the login, or you can go to Portals, Musicians and Family portal, and you can get in through there. The username and password for the website will be sent in every weekly email, so you don't have to worry about memorizing it. So, as you can see, there are a whole lot of things for us to see over here. The Musician Handbook, perfect. The Musician Handbook has a lot of really great general information on the rehearsal schedules and locations, rehearsal expectations, how we expect musicians to behave, attendance policies, concert dress codes, and general stuff like that. Something new you'll notice if you are a returning parent is that students must be enrolled in their school music programs on their main instrument if their school has one. On the re-auditions and screen auditions page, every year we require every member of the organization to re-audition unless they are graduating or just choosing not to return to PYP. And at the bottom, we have the information for the upcoming screen auditions, and here the results for this seating auditions will be posted at 7 p.m. on the day of the summer social. The last thing I'd like to show you is the ensemble page. As you can see, there is a link for every ensemble in PYP. And in this page, you will find the Google Calendar. You're able to add this to your own Google Calendar. So if you need to see it on your phone or your tablet, you'll be able to do so. At the bottom, they're not available yet, but there will be read-and-heeds that will be sent for every concert. These will be printed into your students' music folders, but in case they lose it or something happens to it, we will have digital copies available here. On the read-and-heeds, there will be time, location, dress expectations, parking notes, and transportation for the concert. And I think that's it for me. So I will pass this on to Felicia, our operations manager.
Thank you very much, Yulby. I am Felicia Morris. I am the operations manager here at PYP. This will be my fourth year here, actually. So I am the main operations manager. I am also the ensemble manager for Pieway, our wind ensemble, and Pipe, our percussion ensemble, as well as the manager for our theory program and the manager for our instrument rental program. So for Pieway and Pipe, I will also send a weekly email each Thursday evening, just to make sure that everybody is up to date on what is going on for each week and what we might expect for the next week after. So for the theory portion, so theory classes are mainly for PICO, Pieway, Pipe, and Pisces students. We usually don't have PYP students are usually not required to take theory. However, we've had some in the past where if they're interested, they can come in on Tuesday evening and we can find a spot for you. For Tuesday evenings, if you're in PICO, string students will have their theory class from 5:30 to 6:25, and wind, brass, and percussion students will have their class from 6:30 to 7:25. And then from 7:30 to 9 o'clock, we will have full ensemble rehearsal. For Wednesday, Pieway, Pipe, and Pisces will all have their theory class starting from 5:30 to 6:25. Now, for those that are starting their class from 5:30 on, this will go for the Tuesday strings, and then for anybody that is in a Wednesday ensemble, I would highly suggest you come to Jackson Middle School at least 10 minutes early. That way you have some time to drop off your instrument, get yourself some water, maybe use the restroom. I understand for some of you, you might be coming straight from school. Now, on the first week of our rehearsals, we will be having a theory assessment on the first rehearsal day. And for students that are in PICO, that will be Tuesday, September 9th from 5:30 to 6:25, as well as 6:30 to 7:25. And then for Wednesday students, that will be September 10th from 5:30 to 6:25. Moving on to the instrument rental. So as I mentioned before, I am the one who heads the instrument rental program. So you may actually come up to me and we can talk about any instrument rental. So if your kid might need an instrument, we do have some available. Another way to get in contact with me with that is actually to go onto the musician and family portal. Let me share my screen real quick and I'll show you what I mean. All right. So this right here, we are in the musician family portal. Now, if you go into the section right here where it says forms, you will see the absence request form, chamber group interest form, and the instrument rental request form. I would like you to please fill that out. Something to keep in mind is that we do have a rental cost of $50 per concert season, plus a refundable security deposit of $50. Once the instrument has been returned and inspected, your deposit will be returned by mail. Now, anybody who does borrow an instrument from us, we do request that we do have that covered either under your homeowner's insurance or your renter's insurance, just in case if anything happens, since some of these instruments are rather expensive. And most musicians are responsible for the cost of routine maintenance and repair to the instrument while it is in their possession. Rental instruments should only be brought to PYP approved repair shops or technicians. And if you need any of that information, please feel free to contact me either via email or in person. All right. Let me stop right here. All right. With that being said, I will pass this along to my lovely colleague, Rhiannon.
Hey, Rhiannon, we can't hear you.
I apologize. Okay, hi. I'm Rhiannon. I'm the orchestra manager. I work with all the ensembles. If your students are on PICO or Pisces, I will be the one sending out the weekly emails. I also coordinate the chamber music program. Today I'm going to tell you about our first event of the season, which is the summer social. The summer social will be at Jackson Middle School, which is where all of our rehearsals are. It's going to be on Sunday, September 7th. So it has two groups that come in. The first group will be PYP and Pisces musicians. They'll check in at 12 o'clock, and then they will go into rehearsals. So PYP will be in the cafeteria, Pisces will be in the West Pod. After that, at 1:30, PICO and PIWE and PIPE students will come in, and they will sign in. Everyone will meet at 2 o'clock in the auditorium to hear Mr. Hatner's welcome speech. Then after that, the PICO and the PIWE PIPE rehearsals will go, and there will be a potluck going on for the PYP and Pisces musicians that the PICO and the PIWE and PIPE musicians will join at the end. So what your student needs to bring to this is their instrument, a pencil, and food for the potluck. We will send out a read and heat about this so that you can actually have the information, but we divide our potluck up alphabetically. So A to J brings sandwiches to wraps. This is by last name. K to L brings salads or green or pasta salad. M to R brings fruit. S to V brings chips and cookies. And beverages are W to Z. All right. I look forward to working with you this season. And right now I'm going to pass it back to Noreen, our executive director.
Great, thank you, Rhiannon. So the summer social is not only for musicians, it's for parents too. So the Pisces parents, as Inez referenced, there is a required meeting for parents with Miss Inez to go over expectations and norms. That'll be at 12:15. But all other ensemble parents are also really encouraged to come. There will be social time for parents throughout the day. As Rhiannon mentioned, there's this organization-wide opening session that's both for musicians and for parents. And immediately following that opening session, there will be a parent panel discussion hosted by our parent volunteer committee. And you'll hear a little bit more about that later. There will be opportunities to purchase discounted concert tickets and pre-order merchandise. Also a chance to sign up for carpool lists, volunteer opportunities, and more. So lots of activities happening, and of course you can observe the first rehearsal taking place and the potluck, as Rhiannon mentioned too. So lots of fun things happening, not just for the musicians, but for parents. And we really, really encourage you to come, even if you're a returning parent, maybe especially if you're a returning parent, so that you can, meet other folks and just be part of that social as we kick off season 102. So at this point in our presentation, we're just about halfway through, so we're going to have a little pop quiz trivia here. So there's a few questions, in our 102-year history, how many music directors have led PYP? What does the V stand for in Mary V. Dodge, who is our founder, as Mr. Hatner mentioned earlier in the presentation. What was played on our first concert back on February 14th, 1925? And then our second music director, Jacob Avshalomov, was affectionately known as what by his students? He had a nickname, which is still frequently used. And then what instrument did our current musical director, Mr. Hatner, study in school and still continue to play actively? Okay, so Mitchell, if you get a sense of folks responding to that question or all those questions, you can close the poll whenever you think enough results have come in and we can review the answers. So respond to the poll questions to get your answers recorded. Then we should probably wrap that up and we can review the results. Okay. All right. I don't quite see the results yet. I just saw the quiz, or do people not get a chance to respond? I don't know. I want to make sure.
I'm sharing the results, so I can just talk
Okay.
about
Perfect.
talk about the what in our 100-year history, how many music directors have led PYP? Now, if you're paying attention to Mr. Hatner's opening speech, he went and named every single one: Gershkovich, Avshalomov, Hugh Edwards, Man Chen, and then of course himself. So that would be five. So about half of you got that one right. What does the V stand for in Mary V. Dodge? A lot of you thought it was Victoria, which does seem like a very natural guess. Victoria is probably one of the only names in there that makes sense, but it was actually violin, Mary Violin Dodge. What was played at our first concert on February 14th, Valentine's Day, 1924? Most of you guessed it correct. Schubert's Unfinished Symphony. A couple small fun facts. This Beethoven Symphony Number 9. We didn't perform that until 2023. 2023 was the first time PYP ever performed Symphony Number 9 of Beethoven. Uh, Aaron Copland's Appalachian Springs. That wasn't written until 1944, so well after our premiere, and then John Williams wasn't born until 1931. PYP's second music director, Jacob Shlemov, affectionately known as Mr. A, although Mr. Awesome does make sense. And then what instrument does our current music director, Mr. Hatner, study? What did he study in school? Most of you got that right on clarinet. So, and if you don't mind, I can just jump into what I have to say. My name's Mitchell Nelson. I'm the PYP box office manager and office administrator, and will be PYP's development manager coming up soon. Now, I'd like to share with you how to buy some tickets, because I'm sure all of you want to go see your kids perform. So if you go to our website, we got two options. You can get tickets up here or in our drop down right here, concerts and events. Now, if we click on that, you can see all the concerts that we have coming up. You can find the one you want and click on it. You can sort by ensemble. So if you have a kid in Paiwi, a lot of Paiwi parents here, click on that. Hey, look at that. They're going to be performing on the Popcorn Solstice, our concert at Christmas, the fall concert, the winter concert. You can sort by dates as well if you want to look at only concerts in November, or if you want to really get into it, the locations as well. But I will say, if you click on our concerts, you'll notice something a little funny. Subscription tickets and single tickets. Single tickets aren't on sale yet. They will be by the time it's summer social. But the subscription tickets, if you want to buy subscription tickets to the Schnitzer series, which is a 4-concert event that PYP hosts, and it takes place in Arlene Schnitzer Concert Hall. You can click on that, and it will take you to our ticketing site. You can choose the section, and you'll get all 4 concerts for 35% off, as well as 10% off additional tickets and a bring a friend voucher. Last thing that I'd like to mention, now that I'm done telling you how to buy tickets, is that you'll not only receive weekly communications from your ensemble, but you'll also receive an occasional email from me. Now, we want to be very respectful of your inbox. So what we do is we take all of our information outside of the weekly rehearsals. We put it into one monthly newsletter. We call it the Notes newsletter. Now that will include things from concert dates to a letter from Mr. Hatner, Oregon Symphony concerts, as well as summer opportunities. I'll include summer opportunities, summer camps in there as well. And I suppose with that, I'm going to pass it back to Noreen. Oh, excuse me. One last thing. Every PYP musician will receive one free comp. They'll use that to attend concerts to support their colleagues. It's non-transferable, so if you have a kid in PIWE, it is very, very recommended that they go support their fellow musicians in PYP. It's really important to go see musicians who are better than you perform. We all know how that goes. So that code will be shared with you in emails. And now with that, I'm going to pass it back to Noreen.
Thanks, Hunter. I'm not Hunter. You're Mitchell. Thank you, Mitchell. I'm about to introduce Hunter, who's not here tonight. Hunter can't join us. And so I'm going to cover some of Hunter's materials here, what he does here at PYP. Hunter is our Director of Marketing and Communications. You can reach him at hunter@portlandyouthphil.org. He just covers all of the marketing and communication. So any kind of advertising, communicating with the media, so press releases, all the designing of printed collateral, social media, video production, and more. So if you have any questions about anything marketing or advertising or communications related, you can email Hunter. So the social media component that I referenced, we're on all of the social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and even X still, at PDX Youthphil is pretty consistently our handle across all social media platforms. Please do follow, like, share, and even tag us in your posts so that we can share all of the activity that's happening and help broaden our audience base and hopefully get more audience coming to our concerts. I do also want to mention LinkedIn, because if you do use it for business purposes, please do give us a follow. We don't post very often. You're not going to be flooded with PYP posts, but it's there are some posts every so often, and it can be great to show your affiliation with PYP, support PYP, and the work that we do among the business community. Lots of opportunities there. We are on both of the main video platforms as well. YouTube, we have a very robust YouTube channel, hundreds of videos, primarily of performances, but also there's some other like interviews and behind the scenes content and some little shorts videos. There's a video of our instrument demos. It was several videos of instrument demos that have been very popular and used in education, music classrooms all over the country. So please do subscribe, check that out. That's a great platform to share videos with other people. And you can find us on YouTube at Portland Youthphil TV. We're also on Vimeo, and Vimeo is different in that it's the archive that's really for PYP families only. So we provide login credentials for each collection, which is basically there's a collection of videos for each season. So if you navigate to Vimeo, you go to our profile, there will be different collections that you can click through, and there's one for season 99, there's one for season 100, season 101, and so since we're just starting season 102, we will create a collection for season 102, and when we do, then we'll send out those login credentials. All of the videos from all of the performances will be uploaded to that Vimeo platform, so then you can, if you want to download them for personal use, you want to go back and watch your old performances, that's the place to do it. The YouTube channel is just a little bit more curated because it's very public. We're not always, we're not allowed to post everything that we do. Sometimes there are terms and rental agreements, or a guest artist has to give permission, etc. It gets a little more complicated. So the YouTube channel doesn't have every single performance on it, but the Vimeo channel does. I also wanted to touch on the emails thing to follow up with what Mitchell mentioned about the notes newsletter. We do send out that monthly notes newsletter just to musicians and families, but we also have more like promotional emails. We have a monthly email newsletter that goes to the general public. It does have some, obviously, news. It's a newsletter, and behind the scenes stories. There are, promotional things about upcoming concerts. We really encourage you to subscribe to this email newsletter. You might know a lot of the information already in it because you're an insider and you're getting all of the info from from our operations team and from Mitchell and stuff like that. But these are great emails to forward, to send to your family and friends and your colleagues and your musicians, friends, parents, to encourage them to audition or to encourage them to come to a concert. So please subscribe and help us spread the word, to get people coming to your musicians' concerts. And one last fun thing that I know Hunter always enjoys is the merchandise. So we will have some special Season 102 merchandise. We'll be doing print pre-orders this year, and we'll have samples of the special Season 102 merchandise at Summer Social. So again, here's another reason to come to Summer Social. You can see some of the samples of this special Season 102 merchandise. You can make your pre-order, and then that merch will be available for pickup by that first set of concerts in November, if not a little bit earlier in the fall. So with that, I can hand it over to David to talk about our community programs.
All right. Well, many of you have become involved with PYP originally through our community programs. Community programs are a long list of things that PYP does that touch the musicians in town and teachers who don't directly participate in our programs in many cases. And they also provide an opportunity for those of you with the energy to volunteer for PYP, an opportunity to do so. And in some cases for the musicians in PYP to be involved as well. So I'll just go through it in the order that it's here. You can see the 2 dates for the PYP children's concerts. These take place in the mornings of these 2 dates at the Arlene Schnitzer Concert Hall. The first one is our conservatory orchestras. They'll play 2 concerts on February 18th, and PYP will play 2 on April 14th. We hope to see as many as 11,000 young 2nd through 8th graders attending those concerts along with their teachers and their volunteers. So that is an organizational challenge requiring a lot of volunteers to help not only in front of house and in the house and backstage of the house and many other places. And if you happen to be escorting some musicians who are playing the concert, it's a perfect opportunity to volunteer for us on those days. Below that is a program that we hope will become much more robust in the coming years. Family field trips. This is an opportunity for groups to attend the evening concerts at the Arlene Schnitzer concert halls. When we first started it, we were inviting mostly band and orchestra directors from the schools to bring their students along with their parents to attend our concerts, and we had quite a few. And now we'd like to expand it to offer for any of you who would like to bring a group of musicians from the school your young musician attends, or perhaps a private studio of musicians along with their parents to attend free of charge a concert at the Arlene Schnitzer with the Portland Youth Philharmonic. And we also can provide transportation to those so that the group would not have to park downtown. They could park at the school or in a neighborhood and be brought downtown via bus. We can charter buses for that. So if you are interested in bringing a group or know a teacher that would like to bring their private studio, please get in touch with Maluhia Osei, who's serving in community programs capacity right now, or you can reach out to any of us really, and we'll give you the information you need. In October, we'll have the wind and brass workshops during our wind ensemble rehearsal. These will be taught primarily by members of the Oregon Symphony and faculty from Portland State University. And it's a chance not only for the musicians in our wind ensemble to meet them and hear what they have to say about their instruments, but for musicians from middle and high schools to come and hear these as well, and perhaps play a little warm-up with the musicians in the Portland Youth Philharmonic, and possibly even think about joining this year or in the future. So 1 year experience is expected to attend these workshops, but anyone can really benefit from them. And band directors are welcome to come and enjoy them as well. Our double bass class, which is for early stage players on the instrument to learn from members of the Oregon Symphony, starts on September 20th. They take place on Saturdays at 2 p.m. You need a double bass and a bow and the willingness to do some work in between the classes. We've had many wonderful bass players in our program who have studied in bass class. So any musicians who might want to think about learning the double bass as a second instrument would also be welcome to participate. The double bass is a great introduction to the electric bass. If somebody's interested in playing music outside the classical realm, having a good facility on the bass can be very useful. The Peer Mentor Program is an opportunity for the musicians in the Philharmonic Orchestra to teach private lessons one-on-one with young beginners in our community. It's also a chance to learn a little bit about what it's like to teach private lessons, and we'll be providing some guidance as to the best approach to teach those. It's a great thing to be a part of. Many musicians have taught them over the years, and many young people throughout the community are excited about taking those lessons. And I recommend it to all our young musicians who become Philharmonic Orchestra musicians. Conductor visits are those of us who are the conductors in the program, visiting bands and orchestras all throughout Oregon and Southern Washington. And Larry Johnson will be one of the conductors available, and we'll be contacting the band and orchestra directors about that soon. And finally, the Piwee Runout, which is a chance for our wind ensemble during a school day to get on a bus and go visit perhaps an elementary school, but certainly one middle school, and play a concert for the students at that school and collaborate with the band in the middle school as a big learning experience. So we're hoping to locate a good middle school for our wind ensemble to visit. If you have any ideas or know any band directors that would be interested in that, please let us know. And those are the main community programs. So I think I pass it back to Noreen.
I'm actually going to hop in real quick, if y'all don't mind, but I'd like to take a moment to talk about volunteering with PYP. Now, one of the things about us and nonprofits is that we really could not function without the help of volunteers. Nez had mentioned earlier that she needs two volunteers to help with rehearsals. I mean, can you imagine Inez by herself handling 40 to 60 young kids, and she does a lot of really great stuff, really well, but even the best of us can be overwhelmed by 40 to 60 kids. So why should you volunteer? It really helps build community within the organization. If you would ask a lot of our volunteers that help the last year and the past couple of years, they've really formed friendships with other parents. They really feel connected to PYP as a community. Logistically, it really helps events run smoothly, like the example earlier. Can you imagine hosting a concert and having to do it all by yourself? Having kids running around trying to get everyone to point A to point B. It really helps having parents backstage in rehearsals doing these things. It really helps make a difference. The production of everything is higher quality because of your help. The rehearsals are smoother. We can teach more effectively when we're not having to worry about these kids because we trust our volunteers to handle these sorts of things. And it's not volunteering if you don't get a little something out of it. So we try to make it worth your while by giving you free tickets if you volunteer at the concerts. If you we'll host a end of year party. Last year we hosted one and the volunteers loved it. We had little giveaways and cake and charcuterie and wine. It was really a lot of fun. And also, if you report your volunteer hours to your employer, a lot of companies will pay you for that. They will set it's usually around minimum wage, $17 to $20, and they'll make a donation to us based on the amount of hours that you volunteer. So it's really a 2-for-1. Now, what can you expect? This is based on a survey that we did past volunteers. You can expect good communication, good organization, good experience, and especially you feel like you made a difference. A lot of parents feel fulfilled by volunteering. Now, what types of volunteers that we have, opportunities that we have, weekly rehearsals, these are some of our most important and hard to get volunteers. People that will help set up rehearsals, people that will sit at the front of the door and check students in and make sure no non-PYP students don't enter the building, and also hall monitor, uh, make sure that the kids are in rehearsals, in their theory classes especially. It really help if we can get some weekly commitments to volunteering. And we also have as needed volunteer opportunities. Every concert we need people to help set up tear down. We need somebody to help will call. We need somebody to help with merchandise. We need it says hall monitor, but it's really uh, a performance hall monitor, somebody to sit with the kids, make sure that they're uh, behaving properly while the other ensembles are performing. And we also need help in the office. Every year we have a envelope stuffing party. We have three envelope stuffing parties in October, November, December. It really helps us get thousands and thousands of letters out. We need help in the archives. And then finally, we need help with auditions. Now, I sent out a sign-up form for auditions a couple weeks ago. We'll need some help uh, this week and next week, making sure those auditions run smoothly and letting people in the door. The doors close at 6. We need somebody to stand and basically let the audition people in. If we don't have anyone there, all the kids will be locked outside and we can't have any auditions then. Like I said, how to sign up. You got a QR code, or a link. Uh, you can also find it within the Musician and Family portal, and I'll show that in a second. At the summer social, there'll also be QR codes and ways to sign up there. What you'll see is you'll see a job description, the dates and the times, as well as you'll get automatic email confirmations and reminders so that you don't forget. Nothing's worse than signing up for something and realizing that you forgot about it. So we'll help you with that. It'll automatically record hours. And the reason I mention that is because last year at the party, we had a giveaway based on how many hours you got, a one ticket per hour. So if you don't, so we had somebody that volunteered almost 300 hours. So they had 300 tickets in the pool. So really helps your odds if you want to win a prize. I'd like to quickly talk about the Parent and Volunteer Committee. It's an organization, a committee that I started last year, where it allows me to sit with really dedicated parents and talk about how to make PYP better for not only the kids, but also just you as parents. How can we uh, make it so you want to volunteer? How can we make the organization engaging to you so you're not just sitting in rehearsals, driving your kids back and forth? And so some of the things that we've done in this past year is we started the PYP webinar series to talk about things like college auditions, summer camps, how to promote a healthy practice environment. We have parent socials, one of our concerts at George Fox University can be a drive for some parents in Vancouver. So we give you a place to hang out while the kids have their rehearsal, pre-concert rehearsal. Uh, it lets you form connections with, especially if you're a new parent, it lets you connect with returning parents uh, and form relationships like that, and also a year-end party. Finally, uh, before I do a little switch my screen and show you how to sign up, there's also the PYP Parents and Guardians Facebook group. It's just a small little Facebook community that you can ask questions. We'll post updates. If you hop on there, you'll see the pictures from our year-end party as well as the neighborhood party that we had some dedicated parent volunteers host a week ago. It's a really fun little place. Not a lot of posting, but if you have questions, we will answer them. So now real quickly, I'd like to, oopsie, share the Musician and Family Portal PYP Parent and Volunteer page. This little page within the Musician and Family Portal is a place that you can sign up as well as see the Parent and Volunteer Committee. Now you see we had a Parent and Volunteer Committee meeting 2 weeks ago, and you can see all the notes that we took about it, everything that we want to do this year. If you want to peruse that and maybe attend our upcoming one, September 4th, next week, Thursday, we'll talk about the summer social, rehearsal volunteer needs, as well as goals for season 102. If you want to sign up for volunteering, use this link right here. You'll see it pops up to a sign up genius. And here are our volunteer needs. So if you are free this coming Wednesday from 5:45 to 7 p.m., we need somebody to hold open the doors. And so it's a really easy process to sign up. Now with that, I'd like to pass it back to Noreen to talk about the board.
Thanks, Mitchell. Yeah, so the board of directors and committees is a very special volunteer opportunity. As a nonprofit organization, we do have a board of directors, a all volunteer board of directors governing the organization. They really focus on strategic planning and vision, budget and financial oversight, and fundraising. So these are key things that the board is concerned with, and they achieve that through the 4 different committees of the board, which is development, and development is fundraising basically, our education committee, our finance committee, and our governance committee. So volunteers are needed to serve on these committees and also on the board. It is possible to serve on a committee without being a board member. That can be a really great way to learn more about the organization, see behind the scenes a little bit, just get more involved without the full requirement of being a board member. And then oftentimes folks who serve on those committees do end up becoming board members and then may continue serving on that committee. All board members do have to serve on one of those committees. But again, you can serve on a committee without being a board member. So if you are interested in learning more about that, please email me. I'd be happy to talk with you about it. On the next slide, there is a list of our current board of directors. You can see that we have many folks who are either PYP alumni or parents of current musicians or PYP alumni. So there are several folks who are still currently involved. Eric Skarstad, for example, is a current parent who's serving on our board. Evelyn Curioso, Wally Walker, Jane Perlis, they are all parents of very recently graduated alumni. And, even our board president is an alum herself. And we're not exclusively looking for board members who are only parents or alumni, but we do love to have that perspective, and we do have some openings for current parents on our board right now. So if you are interested, please do let me know. And with that, I'll hand it back to Mitchell. Thanks.
All right, everybody, we're running out of time, so I'll try to make this short, but I want to take a moment to talk about how this all comes together. How does this happen? PYP, we are a nonprofit. That means that every money, everything that we charge you is not for profit. It goes directly to the services we provide, be it the ensembles or the community programs, which if you didn't catch, all of our community programs are free. They're a benefit to the community. So PYP, our funding, you can see how we break it down. Tuition, it only covers about 23%, not a lot. Ticket revenue is even less, 7%. And then grants, which if you're paying attention to the grant scene right now, can sometimes feel a little scary, but it only covers about 16%. The government, it's going to be broken down into government and federal grants, foundation grants, the government, federal, state, and local. The federal, we can't rely on as much anymore, but the state, local, as well as foundations are really, really stepping up. Now, if you're doing a little bit of math, you can see that only adds up to about 46%. So the rest of that, over 50% of our funding comes from individual donors like you, if you want, of course. And so a lot of people feel very strongly about our cause. And they really, really help make a difference. You can do that through individual donations. You can do that through sponsorships. If you, for example, if you are a big fan of the Firebird Suite, that's our final concert. You can be a sponsor for that, and it'll really, really help make the production of that concert what it is, a really good performance. Uh, now the important part that you can play as parents is being a part of the community. What you can do is spread the word and help us build connections. A couple of things that are happening are fundraisers. We have a Columbia Community Cares program campaign happening. We'll have a couple house concerts, Meet the Musicians Breakfast, a big spring fundraiser that lets our donors meet our musicians. We'll do a little performance, have a little bit of food. It'll be a real fun time. Now, if you are a donor, you are automatically a friend of PYP. It's our community, similar to parents, parents of PYP. Friends of PYP are our donors. Now, there are a couple wonderful things that are benefits of being a friend of PYP. First and foremost, you get a tax write-off. All donations over $35 get a tax write-off. Now, depending on how much you donate, you can also be given program acknowledgement, invitation to special events, including open rehearsals, concert receptions, as well as the children's concert, which you normally can't be invited to unless you're a teacher and a student who are coming to attend, or a volunteer. Finally, discount on merch we give to some of our donors. Now, how can you help? First and foremost, just talk to us. We open up a conversation, see what you can do. And, if the only thing you can do is volunteer, that's wonderful. Like I said, volunteering really, really helps us do a lot of the things. You can also sign up for the Fred Meyer Community Rewards. If you didn't know about this, every time you enter your phone number, every time you scan your card to get discounts at the grocery store, it also keeps track and donates a percentage of that directly to us. Now you'll need to go to your account and input PYP as your preferred nonprofit, but that is a very, very passive way, very easy and passive way to help PYP. Other things you can do is talk to your business. If you work at Intel or Nike, like I mentioned, they do volunteering donations. Talk to them, introduce us to your boss, see if they are interested in doing a sponsor. Ask them, just ask, say, hey, do you guys have any corporate sponsorships available? And like I said, volunteer. And then finally, just talk to your friends. Even if it's not a in the context of money. It's a context of, hey, we really like this organization. Hey, come see a concert. It really helps spread the word and helps us grow as an organization. And with that, I'd like to just double check the questions, see if we have any questions, which I don't see any. So if you have any questions, please drop it in the Q&A or shoot me an email. My email is mitchell@portlandyouthphil.org. But we've reached the 7 o'clock time. So Noreen, is there anything else we want to?
I think if there are no further questions, we can probably adjourn the webinar. So thank you all for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. And again, this recording will be posted on our YouTube channel, and we'll send a link out in the coming days. Great. Thank you all, and have a good evening.